Hello. I hope you all had a great New Year's. And what better way to start off the New Year's is to review a horror film set on New Year's Eve. That would be Terror Train, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Ben Johnson, and Hart Bochner. Now, I know the horror film craze was getting pretty big with Halloween and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th, which was released the same year this movie was. So, the filmmakers thought, what if we could do Halloween but on a train? They actually asked director John Carpenter, who directed the first Halloween, permission if they could do this. John Carpenter agreed, and of course you know the rest. Of course you do. What's the film about? Well, I'm not going to really tell you the beginning because that's kind of a plot point to how this all starts and how all this craziness happens. So I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to tell you somewhat of the plot point. A group of medical students celebrate New Year's Eve on a train, and they're all dressed in costumes. But little do they know, they are being stalked by a psycho killer who changes his disguises, and he could be anyone and anywhere. He could pick you. He could be after you. He keeps picking them off one by one. Who could it be? And will they all survive the night? Well, you're going to have to see the movie to find out. Is Terror Train good? Yes, it is. I mean, it falls in that category. It's pretty decent, but it tries to come off as something interesting, but it's really not. I mean, it doesn't take much to figure out who the killer is. Although they do try to throw focus as a way of who you think the killer is, who the killer is. The acting was good. Jamie Lee Curtis was good as Elena, the medical student. I mean, who is stalked by who's one of the few people who are stalked by the killer, and you get the feeling she's emotionally vulnerable and all that. She does show she's likable, but does have her moments where she's not always interesting enough. And she plays it very humane. I know Jamie Lee Curtis was trying to get out of that horror scream queen thing she was being known for. She finally did within 3 years with Trading Places. Hart Bochner was good as Doc. He's come across as a douchebag, but he shows moments where he's pretty likable and all that. Ben Johnson was good as the concerned conductor. He's comes across as a friendly father figure to most of the young people. The kills are pretty interesting. They're not overly gory. They don't go too over the top like some horror films do, but they're pretty interesting, and it's a pretty decent horror film. Kind of has a Murder on the Orient Express like feel mixed with a little Halloweenish. So if you like a good horror film set on a train, Terror Train is that film for you. I give it a 9 out of 10.